like with my diagnosis, even ostomy surgery for me was completely brand new. I'd never heard of it before. I never knew what a stoma looked like. And I went into it as emergency surgery. I had a stricture which then became fully obstructed. So it happened quite quickly, and I didn't really have the opportunity to read up on it or find out, what it involves. And afterwards, I think it was just taking it day by day, trying to figure out how I'm going to manage this. I think in my mind, my surgeon had mentioned a reversal, so I was set on, I just need to have this for 3 months and then they'll get rid of it. I don't need to even think about having it long term. But then at the 3-month mark, they said that I was far too weak for them to consider more surgery and think of reversing it. So that was quite hard to deal with. And I think, again, going back to the fact that we don't really open up about our, personal, health and what we're going through in the South Asian community, I felt like I didn't have anyone to speak to about it. It was very isolating. I had never, at that point, come across another South Asian with an ostomy. I didn't know if anyone had it. So it was just the fact that I couldn't really talk to anyone except for my stoma nurses. And they understood, I guess, the cultural side of it a little bit, but not as much as I would have liked. And I think sometimes it was just small things. Like my brother's wedding was coming up the following year, and I remember crying in the office saying that I'm not going to be able to wear any of the outfits. And it's things like that. And they said, you're allowed to be upset about these things because it's very normal for patients to, I guess, mourn the things that they might have to give up. But actually, I think it's just a learning process of realizing that you're not really giving anything up. It's just making adjustments and doing things a different way. So I became completely comfortable with my ostomy about 6 months into having one. And then I realized, I think when you realize your quality of life is improving and the pain is gone, and your weight is going up, your diet is opening up, there's so many factors that make you realize that actually, like Dr. Nandi said, it is life-saving, and it does enhance your life in so many ways. And at that point, I was, I think, quite set on just keeping it. I didn't really see the point in having more surgery. But then when the conversation came up around potentially having a reversal if I wanted to, because they said that you're in remission, we don't think there'll be any difficulties with the reversal, I was kind of against it, because why would I go in for more surgery if I'm completely fine? But then I think that's where, I guess, conversations with my family around marriageability and, having to explain that I have a stoma to a potential partner. And I think in the South Asian community, it's not even just the partner that I would have to explain it to. You would have to explain it to the entire family that, she has a stoma. And I think because I've never really opened up about my Crohn's, having to open up about my ostomy, the thought was I didn't even want to have that conversation. So I did try to hold on for quite some time, and I thought, no, I have to think about me. But I think in the end, just the thought of these cultural stigmas and thinking that it could impact my future, and also, we have a phrase in the South Asian community, "Log kya kahenge." I didn't want people to start talking about me and gossiping and that whole what are people going to think if they find out that she has an ostomy. So I feel like all of that, it just kind of amounted up to me then deciding to go ahead with the reversal. And I don't think any one thing led to it. I think it is just how we are as a community. Just me kind of being in my head about what the future might look like if I keep it, and then not really having any kind of representation or examples to look to that are leading happy, healthy, married lives, or they have children. And it was only after my reversal that I came across Tina and other patient advocates from the South Asian community. So I don't know if I had seen that before, then maybe I would have, I think, had maybe not gone ahead with the reversal.